Welcome back to Locker Room Dads, hosted by myself, Pat O'Donnell, Green Bay Packers punter, and co-host and brewery owner Josh Brinzo. Today's guest is a quarterback for the Packers who played football at East Carolina and Virginia. He's a huge gamer and is known for being a slayer in Halo. We're going to get down to the bottom of this. But most importantly, he is a locker room dad. Kurt, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
We really need to dive into this gaming thing. I mean, I know you got a lot of different things going on off the field, but walk us through how you got into gaming and how it probably is a huge parallel to football.
Yeah. So going way back, my first dive into competitive shooters was when I was in 2006, 2007, I think, when Halo 3 came out, 2007.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I didn't have an Xbox, I had a PlayStation, but my neighbors had an Xbox and they kept it in their garage. They had this sweet garage setup. And so I would wake up really early. I knew their code for their garage and I'd go in and I'd be playing at 6:30 in the morning before they woke up, getting my reps in. And then they'd come out and we'd play quads and stuff. But from that game on was when I really got into competitive shooters. Modern Warfare 2 came out, took the next step, and started playing game battles as a kid and was hooked. Loved the competitive aspect, loved the teamwork, and kind of coordinating with your team or with your friends. We'd go to school, talk about our strats for game battles for that night at lunch. We were deep, dude.
Yes.
So I was really into this stuff early. And back then, gaming was looked at not the same as it is now. It was kind of seen as a waste of time. And if you were gaming, you didn't care about sports and all that. But for me, it was as soon as I was done with football, threw the backpack down when I got home from school and football, and I was gaming. So it was just an extension of my competitive self in a different outlet. So it just kind of never stopped, and here I am.
I feel like he's so versed in explaining why he games. He probably had a great explanation to his mom, why he spends so much time on the system.
No doubt. Yeah, I had every reason to game, that's for sure.
I'm putting in reps.
Yep, no doubt.
Stealing reps, opening the garage early, 5 a.m.
That's right.
Yep. I'm not kidding. I was so hooked, man. I was so hooked. Because there's games where you play and it's story mode, and then there's you beat the game, it's over, but there's no end to a ranked playlist. You're constantly trying to get better and rank over somebody else. There are always things you can improve on. It's kind of like football. Matt talks about it being the imperfect game. No matter how long you've played this, the opponents are getting better, and there are other ways that you can kind of lose games or win games. And it's always changing. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify for any of the dads listening out there that might not understand the whole competitive gaming world. It actually is pretty intense. I mean, the amount of work that goes in for being a competitor in any of these series, whether it's Fortnite or Halo, is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, man. And I mean, right now it's a lot of people's full-time jobs. They're sponsored, just you could look at a race car driver. They have their car that they drive. They have their ads that are on the wrap of the car. And that's kind of gaming and content are these pro Fortnite, Halo, Call of Duty players. That's their vehicle. They attach some brands to them. They get paid from the brands. They get paid for the team they're on, and then from prize tournament winning. So there's a lot of different ways to monetize it, and that's kind of how the whole system works.
Is that essentially what you're affiliated with Space Station Gaming? Is that what that is?
Yeah, so they're
I see you posting
my
about it a lot.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm signed to them as a content creator, then an alternate on their pro Halo roster. And then also they have other aspects of the business that I'm able to get in on, and investments and lean into them on their marketing, their branding. There's a whole kind of subsection of businesses under the Space Station name that I get access to.
That's so awesome. So you're a professional football player and a professional gamer.
Yeah, I'm lucky, man. I'm rolling right now.
Dude.
Yeah.
So how do you explain, do you feel more of a football player because it's the day job and gaming is the side hustle? Yeah. And you have a kid, which is amazing. I don't know how you do it.
It's all the free time. And it's also it's not work to me. So I'm working when I'm connecting with companies, doing brand deals and stuff. But for me, it's fun. So I don't mind when my daughter goes to bed, staying up from 7 to 11 working on this stuff. And when most people are golfing or watching Netflix or doing these other downtime things, I kind of just flip the switch and hop into the other version of me and get rolling. So it's I don't really I don't know. It's just in my extra time, I'm doing other business stuff versus leisure.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, dude. That is so your wife is super like she's okay with it, or do you have to
She is now.
listen,
She is
this is
now.
paying a little bit of the bills, like her mortgage is paying
Yeah.
for. Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So like early on it was like, hey, like just give me a shot to like make this kind of a thing. And she was so cool with it. Like she was supportive, like she saw how quick it was growing. And now it's like a bigger thing than football in some ways. So like she's so thankful that I started it. And for me, like I'm just thankful that I like put myself out there because early on I saw it as a potential like way to jeopardize my football image because you know how that stigma is.
Yeah.
It's
But
true.
it's really just amplified it. So nowadays guys are like getting in they're more comfortable showing what they're into off the field. And so this is just my off the field thing. And now it's just kind of like another part of me.
That's dope.
It's so cool that you do that because sometimes we're pigeonholed into certain things as athletes, and I feel like you're
Yeah,
essentially a trailblazer. I don't know if there's a bunch of other guys that
I
do it, but
appreciate that.
I feel like you are really paving the way, even for kids probably like in high school. They're like, dude, this is awesome. They probably look up to you just for what you did on
Yeah.
the field and also what you're doing, you call it the metaverse? Can I call it the
Yeah, kind of
metaverse?
online metaverse.
Online?
Metaverse is expanding. Yeah,
Are we
but
there
it's
yet? I mean, is it the metaverse? I don't know.
we're about there. But yeah, it's like for me, the way I look at it is like I've been approached by companies like to do football related things, right? And it's like, okay, how scalable is that? How many quarterbacks are out there? Like, and there's already people doing that, but for gaming, like you can be any size, shape, like anything. Like you can be a good gamer and look a lot of different ways. And for me, like it's got the easiest access for people to get into
Mm-hmm.
and to take like a track to become a pro to. So it's more like appealing to a mass audience. And for me, that was like I didn't know if I was gonna be lucky enough to be 6'3". Like I didn't know if I was gonna have the frame to be an NFL quarterback. And at the time, I was good at gaming. So like I knew gaming could have potentially been a thing one day, but there weren't really outlets for it. And now that I've been able to kind of make all this stuff work, it's been cool to see the response I'm getting from kids. Like they don't care that I play football. One, I barely play because I'm a third string guy. But two, like the most relatable part about me is that I play video games, and so do they.
Yeah.
And who knows if they'll by the time they're a freshman in high school, going to be a senior, will they grow? Will they become big enough to be a college guy? Like they don't know that, but they know they can play video games, and they know there's a future in careers with that. So for me, it's been really cool to lean into that and be more relatable in that aspect.
No, that's so cool. And I remember one of the first conversations we had, you're like, yeah, like sometimes I'm up and down, I'm flexed, like with football, but you
Yeah.
use the gaming to help pay the way for the family, like whether it be like the
Yeah.
bills, the mortgage, the food, whatever you guys allocate the money to. I think that's really
Mhm.
cool. And I think a lot of kids just do it and they use it as like a hobby, like you said, but you're actually monetizing it and using it to your
Yeah.
advantage, which is super dope.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, but we probably have a couple people now tuning in from Green Bay. You are in the quarterback room with Aaron Rodgers, probably first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Maybe,
Right? I mean, back to back
Yeah.
MVP, blah, blah, blah. Talk about what it's like to be in the room with him. Is he super supportive? Is he, like you talking about being a third string guy? Do you learn a lot
Yeah.
from him? Like, what is it like being in the room with him?
It's been really cool, man. And for him, he's such an open book. Like any questions that I have, like just lay him out there. Like he'll walk you through his thought process, and he's really just like he's not gatekeeping any information on the football side. But like the cool part about him is that when those conversations go, like they don't last crazy long, but the longer conversations are like what's going on in your life, what are you into? Like he was a gamer back in the day, but he didn't dive into it the same way because of the stigmas and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of kind of parallels within how me and him went about business. And like people would look at him as kind of like a different guy or like a trailblazer in his own way, like speaking up against things. And like that's kind of been my thing in gaming. So he like supports the stuff I do. He loves the fact that I make memes all the time and like I'm on social media, like trying to have fun. Like it's when you've been in the league for as long as you have, like as long as he has, it can get boring in a way. Like there are always fun parts of the season, but at the end of the day, like the meetings are the same that they've always been. OTAs are the same they've always been. You reinstall Dice Right, Tuner Scat, Dragon Y over day one every single year for 17 years. Like there are parts to the football that get monotonous and there's no creativity really in it. There's little bit, but not much. And so I kind of brought that to the room and we had a really good year last year. It was a lot of fun. And he was really supportive of all the things I was doing and he would chip in on social media and like support me publicly and it brought me more followers and like more I got a few brand deals that I know came from the fact that he really liked what I was doing and was
That's cool,
supporting
man.
me. So like it's cool that like somebody with his following was public about, hey, he's doing cool stuff. Like, I really like this guy. He's a good dude. And it just helped my brand out. So it was
That's
really cool.
awesome.
Do you guys ever play Halo against each other? Have you ever?
I've been trying. I've been like sprinkling a little bit, like, hey, whenever you're ready. And he talked about it a little bit, but he in his like in the off season he travels all the time and like he's always all over the place. So I was like, look, I'll hook you up with a gaming laptop. I'll connect you to the company. Not that he needs it; he could buy whatever he wants. But like, I'll make this really easy on you. And he like it started to go, but then again, he just started traveling and he's got a lot going on in life. That's for sure.
Dude, what you need to do is somehow partner with him with Jeopardy. I don't know how, or do something like that. Maybe like a meme, or maybe training camp. We could do something like that.
We totally could.
He could be
I have something cooking for the team later in the year with Call of Duty. It's gonna be sweet. Just leave it there.
Stay
leave
tuned.
it there.
Yeah,
stay tuned. I'm trying, man. I try to plug everybody where I can.
But let's dive into the real reason why you're here. You are a dad of one, right? Scout.
Yep. Scout. Yep.
And how old is she?
She is going to be 2 in August, so just over a year and a half.
Ooh, nice.
Right in our daughter's ages.
It really is.
Yeah. What months for you guys?
Billy will be in October. She'll be 2.
Yes. So December she'll be 2.
So you guys right around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually ask this question, and I think a lot of the guys are appreciative. I do. Like, how did you know that you wanted to be a dad? Was it something like from birth that you wanted? You're like, as you grew up and you saw, a family develop either, in the neighborhood or people that you were close with, and they had kids and things like that. Was that always something that you wanted to do, or is it one of those things where it just kind of happened? I don't know you guys' story. I don't know if, it was routine or straightforward. You guys got married or whatnot, but was it always in the cards for you?
Yeah, I always wanted to. I like from the time I was young, my wife and I have been together since high school. So like we were high school sweethearts, like towards the very end. And then we dated throughout college, got married, and been together for like almost 10 years now. But we knew we wanted to have a kid eventually. And man, I don't know. I think I had some really cool examples. Like my parents did a good job with me. And I had some like family friends who, like just the whole family atmosphere. Like I loved that. And I loved like life is so much cooler for me now that I'm a dad. Like I care a lot less about some things that used to just drive me nuts. And I just like don't even care anymore. Like I used to try to control everything. Like I used to be so uptight and I'm like it doesn't matter. I go home. My daughter doesn't care if I had a good day, bad day. Like she doesn't care about football one. Like she thinks like it's cool or whatever, but like she does not care. She doesn't know anything about the NFL. Like I'm just dad. And I always wanted that. And it's pretty cool that just like our relationship, and she's only 2, but I feel like she's my best friend. So
that's awesome, man. Does she associate like a gaming controller with Dada, or is it more the football? Like, which one is it?
It's right now. It's the Packers logo is Dada. So it's like any Packers, like instead of like pack, it's like Dada, like everywhere. So yeah, she does like Daddy's office though. Like she comes in here, we have dance parties in my office like every day, like once a day. Like she'll go and like try to open up my office door and say Dada, and then we go like I have to put on her song like. It's our routine. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a very straightforward pregnancy? Was Sam's pregnancies one?
It was pretty straightforward. So she was pregnant a year prior, and she had a miscarriage. So like we went through that process, and like that was really tough.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's tough.
Yeah, and I don't think like people talk about that stuff enough. Because like. You don't realize how common it is. It just kind of gets swept under the rug. But like, I think 1 in every 4 pregnancies ends in miscarriage, like at some point along the term. And so like, we didn't know what was going on. Like we went for our 8-week checkup and like no heartbeat type of thing. And it was like, that crushed us, but it also led us to like take health even more seriously. Like my wife has Hashimoto's and like, we were always like, pretty good about eating, but like not the best. And then from there on, like it was like we're gonna do everything we can to like optimize, like may have the most optimal health as we can, and like just take care of ourselves and basically alleviate any what's the word, like any like things that you can't control. Like we were gonna control everything that we could throughout the pregnancy process for her. So not long after that, I'd say like I think 6 months or so, got pregnant again, and the pregnancy was really good. Pretty much the whole way through. Like she had some like heartburn and that type of thing, but the birth was traumatic. She pushed for like 5 hours, dude, and Scout would not come out.
Man.
So like I saw her head, like I'm like I could see the hair on the top of the head, and it just she wouldn't come out. Her head was like in a weird spot, and she had like an above average sized head, so like she just wouldn't come out. So then it was like an emergency C-section, like
Oh my
long
gosh.
recovery and all that. But Scout was healthy, and like Scout's all good. She's just a big baby, and but it was definitely a lot on my wife, and then just trying to be there to support her. In that time was August 26th, so like cuts were 3 or 4 days later. It got cut, re-signed to practice squad with the Falcons, and then the season rolls. So like having to go through the season at that time when you're not home as much, like you don't have the same support, you can't support her the same. Like that was a lot. That was a tough season to go through, but made it, and we're in a really good spot right now. But I definitely think like that stuff's not talked about enough.
No, we appreciate you sharing that. I'm sure someone
absolutely.
listening right now is going through that, and like how you overcome that and how you deal with that with your wife. So that's really cool. We appreciate you doing that.
Of course.
But the day of the birth, like we call it game day, what was it like for you guys?
Game day, baby.
Was it super stressful, like leading up to? I know you just talked about how the actual birth went, but I remember Josh has his story. I have my story. And mine was super routine. Like we actually had to go in early, and we were just sitting in the waiting room, like waiting. And I'm like, I look at her, it's like, is this normal? Like we're literally waiting like 45 hour to get in a room because it was so crowded. But what was it like for you guys?
It was like we had it scheduled. It was within like a week or so, but we had it scheduled because of cuts and practice, and like I was a fringe guy, so like I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And so that was also during COVID. So you guys same time had baby during COVID. So like it was honestly a shit show because for me to leave, like they didn't want to let me leave and my wife's mom come in to replace when I was there because only one person was supposed to be there at a time, like at all for the entire duration.
Yeah.
So like we had to pull some strings with the Falcons and like get people to call in and stuff, and like no, like this is gonna happen. Like she's not gonna be alone at all during this process. And so luckily we were able to have at least one of us in the room at a time. But yeah, I came back from practice that afternoon, um, went through the whole process, and then the very next day I had practice, and it was just like it was honestly the longest 3 days of my life to go from like no sleep to practice to like meeting. It was just like Dad should have get like a day or two of
Maternity
for
leave,
sure.
100%.
Seriously though, I'm kind of curious how you balance the gaming, football, being a dad / husband all in one, because that's a lot that you're balancing
It's a
right
lot.
there.
So right now, like my flow of the day is pretty crazy. Like you know how it is. Like we get in there around like depending on the day, 6:37. Last week we'd get home at 4. So like those are later weeks, but now it's like I get home around 2 on a typical day. Have about an hour with the family. Then from like 3 to 5, I try to schedule all the meetings and stuff I'm doing with different businesses because I'm doing more than just like gaming. I'm kind of into the business side of things now too. So like from 3 to 5, like if I have something that day, like I go up to my office, work, have dinner with the family, hang out till around 7, and then some nights I go and I stream for like 2 to 3 hours and like get kind of that obligation going, and then some nights I don't. But like it's like a balance. Like our Google Calendar is like loaded, man, and my wife she does a really good job, and like we've also outsourced a lot of help. So like time that I would spend maybe doing the dishes or cleaning that normally I just always do, I'm starting to hire people to do that because it like the time spent value received is not the same anymore because I'm just doing so much. So we have a lot of help around the house now. We have a sitter that comes and helps my wife when she needs an extra set of hands. Like I try to do as much as I can to kick back like towards our house so that it's not all on my wife. But when I'm available, like I'm a dad, so it's been cool to kind of see that balance and how it works. But I'm like it's a lot for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I want to chime in too about that, about getting some help around the house. I was always against having someone like a cleaning person come in or whatever. Like, always
I was
against
too.
it. And then my wife and I were talking about it. Like, you know what? Let's see how this helps us. And it took so much weight off our shoulders. I mean, if you can financially afford to do that, I highly recommend it because the time that you would have spent doing all these tasks around the house, you now have time to do something together.
And that's like for me, it gives us time back together, but then also like when I'm working at the same time it gives my wife an extra set of hands. So like it's been worth its weight in gold. Like I wish I would have done it a long time ago. And like again, like it costs a lot of money over time, but if you're working during that time to cover that cost or potentially make more, like it is worth it to have that resource. But again, you just like if you're running your own business, you got to scale it to the point where it's worth the time.
True.
Yeah.
It takes time to get to that point. So
yeah, I was so against it too, and you're right though. Like life is so much better. Like when you do have help. Like I know it means the world to our wives or your significant other. Just someone explained it to me like this. Like I came from a family like middle class. You know, we didn't have the most expensive things, but we didn't have the least expensive things. And then I was like, I can clean my own dish. I could do it all. I could do that. And then I realized I'm helping somebody else out too. Like that's how someone explained it to me. Like they're really thankful, like for the opportunity to have another job.
Yeah, they want that. Like that's more food on the table, more money in their savings. And for me, it's more time to spend on scaling a business, scaling a little content machine, or I get to have it's for me like to be able to spend time with my family, knowing I have other things that are coming up that I have to do that I don't want to. Like it's hard for me to like not think about. Like that's just the type of person I am. So like I'm always get everything done and then go enjoy my time. But like if I know that I don't have to do that, then I can like really just free my mind, like just be all in, like attentive. Just kind of how I like am wired. So that stuff helps me so much.
And I know we talked about this too, about weekends. Like is Scout in an age where you can actually sit at a breakfast restaurant, or is it more like because
breakfast okay, dinner's like
not so much.
It's not that it's not enjoyable, but it's like one of us is walking out of the place to go like pick flowers or something. Like she's not the kid that's just sitting down like playing with toys, that's for sure. She's like exploring and going to do stuff. So it's like breakfast, you can kind of like you can keep it corralled for long enough, but she's like a wanderer, man.
So she's more so like eating and run away. Like you can't keep her at the table with crayons or anything. Like you have to either stimulate her. I don't know if you guys put the device in front of her or whatnot yet, but
we try not to. Yeah.
I mean, Dad gets enough of that stimulation probably from gaming.
Yeah, right. Like the only time we really do is like when she's sick, but like we try not to, just because she is so high motor. It's like she's better off to like get energy out running around and stuff than just sitting.
Yeah.
But it's not easy either because it is like it's a balance.
I feel like sometimes it's like really tough when you're out to eat and like you look at each other and you're like, you want to take this? You gotta figure out who's
it's
doing
like, are we eating together or are we just like kind of like parenting separate at the table? Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, Kurt's been great showing me coffee shops, Josh. Josh is a coffee snob. He wears Starbucks out. I mean, he gets like 2 venti large boys. I didn't know if you had a go-to energy drink or energy supplement for the dads out there, your coffee of choice. I don't know if you're an espresso guy, a cold brew. I don't know what you like.
I drink all sorts of coffee depending on the day. I've recently tried to like cut back on like dairy and that stuff, so like it's just not the same. But we have pretty good coffee at the facility. Like, what is it, Chameleon or one of those? Like I drink.
In the glass.
And then just mix it up a little bit.
That stuff's good.
And then I have a sponsor with G Fuel. They're back there. They're like my energy drink, but it's not really like it's more of a focus supplement than an energy drink. So it doesn't give you like all the jitters and stuff. So I actually drink that every day before practice. So it's kind of my.
Is that NSF certified?
I'm exhausted.
Shameless plug. Enter in here.
Allegedly. Yeah, I've been drinking it for like 3 or 4 years and have never failed a drug test. So I'm just rolling with it at this point.
All right.
Dude, that's awesome.
We will plug that today.
Josh is going to be looking that up as soon as we get off this.
They have them at Target.
I know.
They have them at Target. And then they also, they originally started as a powder that you mixed in with water. So they just got the cans in Target. And then the powder, I've been using that for years. And actually, I used to take C4 and all that stuff, like the heart pounder back in college, and I had to stop. Like I just
that's Josh right
I didn't feel like my trajectory for life was that.
My love of C4.
Yeah.
Dude, those EKGs hit differently when you get older, huh?
Yeah.
You start to worry about. We just had a physical.
This was
mini camp.
Yeah, man. I felt like if my back was itchy, probably wasn't the best thing to be using.
Well, let's take a step back here from all that. But what is it when you have a day off, or usually in a season? I don't know if you guys do date night on Friday and you guys got a sitter. What does that look like for you and your wife? Because I think it's really important whether you're in
Yes.
football, whether you're in a corporate world, et cetera, that you carve out time for your significant other. What does that
Totally.
look like for you guys? Do you go in a certain spot here? Do you guys kind of just, game together? I don't know what you do, but
Oh, we definitely don't game together. She is the
Oh my
we
god.
couldn't be more opposite. Like she's anti-gamer. Like if she's up at night, she's either reading a book or like reading Reddit. Like that's it.
All right.
Or like maybe a show from time to time. But we typically will go the creamery, the one I told you about, the breakfast spot. So
Mhm.
like we like to go out to breakfast, go to a park. Like we try to do as many things outside. Like if we go shopping anywhere, it's Target or Barnes and Noble. Like that's it. But really just like try to get out and about and just out of the house together, and then rendezvous for lunch, nap time. Like the best day is when we all get to nap together. Like that is like prime time. Like that's a good day.
Those are good
And then,
days.
Those are.
yeah, dude. And then afternoons, like just we try to be try to go outside as much as possible. When we were living in Florida, like always by the pool or the beach or whatever. So it's kind of what we like to do.
It's not a bad day.
Breakfast.
Laying by the pool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still a little hesitant around water with the little one. I don't know if you like that too,
Yeah.
especially being from Florida.
Yeah, she like I don't let go. Like she's just I'm holding her the whole time.
Like you take a nap, like, and you're just holding her for dear life. No.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this question. Somebody asked me this the other day, and I had to ask you, Josh, what your thoughts were on this.
Okay.
Somebody asked me, if you go out to a dinner with your wife, date night, kids taken care of, and it's a table for two, and you got the booth and there's a chair in front of you.
Oh god, I already know where we're going with this.
Has your wife ever said, "Can you sit next to me?" And I like thought about it because it happened to me one time, and then I'm the type of person kind of like, you like to spread out a little bit, like my plate's here.
Yeah.
If I get next to you, I love you so much, but I do want a little bit of like eating room. I don't want to be like, hey,
Yeah.
we're at a nice
Yeah.
restaurant, like let's enjoy it. Are you
Yeah.
the type of guy that's like, no, I'm sitting across from you, this is what I'm going to do? Or do you go on the other side, you kind of entertain it?
I will do whatever she wants me to, but like afterwards, like on the ride home, I'll be like, was that really the best like plan? Like, could we have done it better?
Yeah.
Was there a better way to go
if you
about
sit
it?
next to your wife, and then they're like, oh, when are your other guests going to be arriving? Like, should I wait? Should I come
Yeah.
back for drinks?
Yeah.
And then they kind of like, no, we're all here.
Yeah, no, that's just us, Yeah, I don't think we've ever sat next to each other, and she's also like, needs her space, like sleeping, like we have our own blankets, like it's just like that's just how it is. So I think that's along that same realm of like she likes her personal space too.
Yeah.
So
Josh, go ahead.
I'm
Weigh
not
in on this.
I'm not sitting on the same side. I'm just being honest. I have made so
No
many
chance.
comments when walk in somewhere and you see the one couple that's like always all over each other at the restaurant and you're like, oh,
that's
okay.
definitely not us.
Yeah, like that's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just want a face and be able to have conversation.
We
Have
don't
a nice
really
meal.
like do the PDA, like I mean like I'll kiss her in public, like it's not like we're anti, but we're also like those thoughts don't even like come into my brain or her brain
Yeah.
of like let's like love up on each other and lean up on each other at dinner.
I agree. I just had to ask because somebody asked me, and I
Yeah.
thought I was kind of crazy for answering the way I did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nah,
sometimes the
yeah.
hormones
you're
are fine.
good.
Pregnancy, I mean, she's doing August.
Oh,
Sometimes you
yep.
don't know what you're getting. And sometimes she's so
That's true.
straightforward,
Dude.
and then the next day you're like, wow, that was like way out of left field. Like, I need to be on my toes today. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
yeah, that's a good point though. You don't ever know.
you know, all the dads out
don't
there, you
ever
never know. Every day's new. Don't expect the same thing every single day.
Pregnant
You
wife,
probably won't get it.
new hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably won't get the same. Yeah.
But leading up, we just finished mini camp for all the listeners out there. We got one more week OTAs, but I do want to talk favorite vacation spot. I know you're a Florida boy, you're a West Coast guy, right? But have you flown with Scout yet?
Yes.
Okay, because it's a life-changing event. It really is.
It's life-changing and it's petrifying. And
Yes.
with the amount of delays there are nowadays, it's like I think I was like on a 6-for-6 stretch of every single flight for like 3 flights. All layovers were all delayed. And,
Oh, God.
but it was without Scout. So I'm like, you know what? Like, no big deal. I'll just get stuff done on my phone. Like, it's no big deal. But like getting a flight delayed with her is my biggest nightmare. And we had one where we were on the runway in the plane for an hour. And it was just like...
Wait, walk
That
us
sounds
through where you
miserable.
were, though, because a lot of people don't understand how small Green Bay Airport is. I don't know if you fly to Green
Yeah.
Bay, if you're a Milwaukee
Yep.
guy, or if you're an Appleton guy.
We were Appleton that time.
Okay.
We were on the plane. It was a pretty smallish plane. So you drive. If you got a kid, like you like driving is an activity. Like once you get there, like that's like the clock is ticking. So that was like 30 minutes. Then you are in TSA checking. That's clock is ticking, and then you're waiting for the flight. You get on the flight and you're like, okay, we made it. Like let's play a little bit, eat some snacks, and then like hopefully she'll just nap. We sat on the runway for an hour, and she's confined, can't run in the like. If she's not like, if the plane's not moving, she's like, what's up? But if the plane is moving, she can look out the window and like, oh, like cool stuff is going on. Like we're moving. It's like we're in the car. But sitting still is like the biggest, like you just feel it. I could feel it building. I could.
Like you're just waiting.
It's tough.
Something is gonna explode in her mind. Like I need to run into the aisle. Have you had to hold your kid yet? Like in the aisle, like the parent that walks up and down, and like all the dads.
Thankfully,
like,
not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, thankfully. We've only flown like on one trip there and back, so like this was the trip. So we haven't done it.
It's a lot. Man.
Did you buy her own seat?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. I was saying, did you buy her own seat?
No, thankfully we had a seat in between us. That was free.
All right.
But we're very close to like just pulling the trigger because to be able to like put the car seat in that spot and like I don't know, I think it probably would have helped that day.
Dude, what if you?
Yeah, we've done that.
You pull this one, Southwest Airlines. You sit in the aisle. Your wife sits out the window. And then
that middle seat is yours.
I'm not going to confirm or deny if we've ever done that one. And be like, go ahead, roll the dice. Like if you want to sit next to us, that's fine. No, but we've bought seats though. Like we've kind of strategically planned. Highly recommend it. We're talking about quality of life here. Sometimes you get someone to wash the dishes. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Buy a car or airplane seat. But another topic I wanted to ask. Favorite Disney movie that you're looking forward to watching with Scout, if you haven't already. Josh, huge Disney family. I'm going to preface that.
Big time.
So we have watched. Is Encanto a Disney movie?
Encanto.
Speaking his language.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorites right now. Mainly Family Madrigal. Love that song. And I mean, I like the Frozen series. My wife and I actually watched those like together, but Scout hasn't seen them yet. I think she'll like them when she gets older, but I think some of those scenes are like not like all bubbly. So I don't know. I think Frozen and Encanto, and then I was a huge Lion King kid, so I loved it.
Tearjerker. It's definitely all-time fave. Lion King.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So,
do you have any other suggestions that maybe aren't like mainstream?
Listen. Josh is the type of person like Disney through and through. Like he has the Disney pass. Like he's the crazy guy that goes to Disney for like a 1-day thing and comes home.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that.
Yeah, we're going there for my birthday too. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go around the world at Epcot. If I had to pick my favorite Disney movie, it's Hercules. Like hands down, it's Hercules. That's always a banger. That's a great movie.
I feel
Encanto is great though too.
What about like Little Mermaid? You got a daughter; it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get Little Mermaid.
Yeah. No, we've already watched it.
You already watched
That's honestly, that one's not one of my favorites. I mean, my wife loves that. That's like the girls' favorite. Like they always love Little Mermaid.
You have to think about your audience.
I know.
You do.
I know. Well, how about this?
It's not about you, Josh.
I know. I was going to ask this one today. So every couple needs a show to watch together too. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I just started The Boys season 3.
Oh yeah!
Shout out to The
Boys. Part of the first season.
Great show. But I want to know what you and your wife are watching right now.
We are not watching anything currently, but the most recent thing that I can remember, like we've seen like shows in between that have been good, but like the one that like really was our show was How to Get Away with Murder. Like,
ooh,
that show was like, that was before the baby. It was quarantine. Like it was deep. Like we crushed through like 5 or 6 seasons in the matter of like disgusting a little bit of time. Like it was gross. Like we ate like shit. We slept like shit, and we just sun up to sundown binged it during COVID, and it was amazing.
Hey, it's quarantine.
Probably
life,
one of the best 2 or 3 weeks of my life.
Oh, that is awesome.
That is.
Did you ever lean over? I was about to interrupt you, and just deep down into a dark rabbit hole on Reddit? Like,
Yeah.
is that like a thing that she
Oh
does?
yeah. Oh, she's deep, man. She's really deep.
Yeah.
She is like, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with Reddit. I mean, I am, but like I'm not familiar with like the slang. But she's like a lurker or whatever. Like doesn't post anything, but like
Yeah.
always is lurking. And so like she like reads off, tells me stories that she's seen on Reddit here and there. So like she loves it.
My wife will
She's
not use Reddit, and I keep trying to get her on it. I love Reddit.
yeah, yeah. It's not that I don't like Reddit. I just go on like from time to time when I'm looking for something specific, but
Yeah.
I'm not like a browser or whatever you would call it.
Is it like Yelp for life? Like if you have
No,
like any kind of forum, is it like anything you have a question
Yeah, there's
on?
like groups. No, it'll be people but there's like one just for watch, like trading. You can go and sell watches on there. There's one just people post pictures of cars. There's one for like every sports team. So like the Packers has their own Reddit,
Yeah.
and they'll complain
There's
about
John F.
everything.
Kennedy conspiracy
Yep.
Reddit. There's COVID conspiracy Reddit. There's like
murder stories.
murder.
name it.
So that's my wife's main one. She's like huge into murder mystery, like podcasts, Reddit. Like she's gonna get to the bottom of it before she hears the story. That's for sure.
She needs to watch Lincoln Lawyer. Netflix new show.
It just came out on Netflix, right?
It did. I'm watching
I just like watched the preview. It's on my watch list.
Ooh.
I did make it that far.
Yeah, did I see a tweet that you said like a good night is not actually watching Netflix, it's watching all the trailers and adding it to your wish list?
Yep. I just like I can't commit, man, but I want to feel like I have some skin in the game. Like it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like I'm picking a stock without buying it. Like oh, that's gonna be a good company one day, but like I didn't have to buy it. So that's like that's my
Netflix did not have a lot of shows at one point, and now it's too many to keep up with.
Yeah. I do have to watch Peaky Blinders though. Like that just came out today. That's one that I've been waiting for a long time.
It's a great show.
That was when I was in Atlanta in 2019. I tore my turf toe ligament, so I was out for the season. And every day at practice, I didn't go to practice because I couldn't walk. I wasn't just gonna like sit out there. So I'd kick my foot up in the quarterback room and crush 2 episodes of Peaky Blinders every single day at practice until it was over.
Oh, I love it.
I was like, yeah, I can like just close my eyes and get right back to that room. And iPad flipped up, feet kicked up, snacks. It was not a bad year, that's for sure.
Did you put it on like the big screen? Did you like
I didn't. Share? I should have, but I didn't know. Yeah, I did not.
This is another random thought. All the guys out there that go to the theater, right? We just watched Top Gun because we're talking about movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so good.
Yeah, it was amazing. For all the people out there who love Top Gun, highly suggest it. But is it true that kids go now and they rent out the theater and play Halo? Can you do that? Can you randomly just go and like, I want Theater 4 and I want to play Halo? I
mean, I'm sure there's a price for anything, right?
It's true.
Our theater
I've seen the
offers it.
TikToks. I've seen the memes. Yeah, there's got to be a price for that.
You know what?
That was not an option when I was a kid.
I definitely would have leaned into that.
Yeah.
And that would have been like, instead of the LAN parties, like it would have been like, we probably would have brought our own monitors, like played our side games while the main game was going on the big screen.
Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
Can you gamble on Halo yet? Is that a thing? Can you like?
Yeah.
You can.
I think so. There's like companies that do gambling for esports, and I think they're like a part of some of the main gambling companies. A company that I'm working with now is actually going to be like the first like non-gambling, family-friendly like fantasy app for esports. So like
that's cool.
Basically, it's going to open up doors to like athletes that want to get involved because we can't do like gambling related like sponsorships. So it's going to be a cool one. But
yeah,
it's
that's fair game though, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's fair game.
Yeah,
yep.
They can't come down on us on that.
Nope. So I'm definitely gonna plug that into a lot of stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. Pat's in.
Dude.
You gotta find the loopholes, man.
He's good for it. I'm sure there's a Reddit forum for that. But Josh, do you have any more questions for our guy here?
I do. I definitely do. We always ask on our show what gadget or some sort of something that got you through
that you can't live without.
You through babyhood.
Oh man, let me think about that one. I would have to say
the IKEA playset kitchen
the
set.
wrap.
No.
Well, we Grammy hooked us up with the kitchen set. That was sweet. But for me, it was the is it called an Ambu Hemo wrap or whatever? It's a wrap. Like we had her
Okay.
wrap to us all the time. So like for naps for the longest time, she would not nap laying down. She had to be strapped to our chest. And so like if we were gonna get anything done in the house, she was strapped to our chest and we were doing dishes or whatever while she's just like slumped. So the wrap got us through many sleepless days for her.
That's a good one.
That's the first
she-
time that's been suggested too.
Yeah, we tried like the snoo, like all that stuff. We had a teammate had a snoo and we tried it out. She would not sleep, and she had to be like touching us, like had to be laying on us, touching us. But to get things done during nap time, like it's like the only time you have. She had to be strapped to our chest, and we were going. And even now, like she's still like she sleeps in our bed with us. Like sleep training did not work for us at all. It was a nightmare. And so like it's just life's good now. Like she sleeps with us and it's easy. She gets good sleep and like it's.
Oh, she sleeps in the bed?
It's normal. Yeah, she sleeps in the bed still, and so it's like when she wakes up in the morning, she like rolls over, looks at me, dad, up.
Oh no,
like,
no.
All right, time to get up.
Man.
You know, she's yeah. So we just like, but again, if she wasn't sleeping with us, like she did not sleep. We couldn't like break through that like barrier of like this is what it's gonna be. So it is what it is, and it's like she sleeps good. She goes to bed pretty early, and we have time at night to ourselves, and she's in a good sleeping routine. So it's like, all right, this is what it is for now.
Are you gonna like
if you're getting
experiment?
good sleep,
You can like one day just plop her in a room and see what happens.
I think what we're gonna start with is we're gonna get like a little like what is it, like a bed that has like a bundle trundle or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Bed. We're gonna get something like that for the other side of the room, and like we're gonna have her sleep there first. So like she can still be in the room, but like she's gonna move to her own little bed, and then eventually that's how we're gonna like wean her out of it. But like
and wheel the bed out of the
It's
room.
gonna be
with her.
halfway
right, just like a gurney. Is it a gurney?
Yeah,
what it's
just
called?
roll her right out of the room.
Like, yep. Like see ya.
Dude,
Yeah.
I hear you on that. I mean, we're not at the point where like she's in the bed, she sleeps in her own room, but since she's been born, we have this sound machine and it plays the same tune over and over. And my wife,
it's a tune.
Oh yeah, it's like a little melody. You know, it's got the.
Oh God.
And listen, she loves it. And I don't know if it has like that, sleep cue, like where like you turn it on and she's like she's like yawning, like ready for bed.
We do have a sound machine, but it's like white noise.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what ours is.
I need to like transition to white noise, I think.
Yeah, it's like they have some that have like washers and dryer noises and all that stuff, but I don't know, I couldn't do the melody. Like
I wouldn't be able to do that. I think ours has
especially
white
because
noise
she sleeps
and a
in the room
wave.
with us.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, if I had to listen to a melody for oh my God.
I feel like she is in the room because we have the monitor, and then the monitor's like on like level 2 or whatever, which you could still hear it.
Yeah, so it's
ingrained in my brain.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. Like nobody, like if you don't have a kid, you don't understand like the little processes that you have to figure out along the way that like nobody tells you about. They tell you to buy all these things, but you're like, half the shit doesn't work. Half the shit's way overpriced because you're going to buy it all anyways or have somebody buy it for you. And it's like, what do you really need? Not nearly as much as you think, but you just got to find the right things that you need because they're very important.
That is true. Josh Brinzo, prime case, snoo advocate. You've disproven the snoo. Snoo, we actually need to do another review. Okay, maybe Josh can...
And maybe it's just my daughter that, like, she wasn't going to snoo it out. But
listen,
again, the snoo was a lifesaver for a lot of people.
I got number 2 on the way, and if the snoo's not working, that wrap is. So
that is true.
Got the backup
I
plan
will
now.
say, like, that's the biggest thing that I've learned from all of this is, like, not every kid is the same. So some kids are going to be, like, low sleep needs, like, easy in that aspect. And then some other aspect are going to be hard where, like, my daughter, when she's awake, she's, like, always in a good mood for the most part. Sometimes she's, like, whatever, but she's, like, high energy, always in a good mood. But, like, sleep was her thing. Like, she did not want to sleep alone. So, like, we stopped fighting it. And I think, like, sometimes, like, you're going to try to fight a fight you'll never win, and it just takes even more time. So some babies sleep easy, some don't. It's not just, like, a one-size-fits-all thing.
That's true. We do need to check back in with you. Maybe in, like, 5 years. If the kid's still sleeping in bed, I might have to call you up.
Then we gotta, we have bigger issues for sure.
Yeah.
When she's like,
another parent. You do you.
Well, I don't plan on sleeping in the same bed for 7 years. That's a long time. But hey, some people out there probably do, and it's totally cool, and they're happy and healthy and whatever. But that's not my initial draft of parenting for me.
Well said, Kurt. Well said, dude. I think we should end there on this interview.
Yeah, I'm all good with that, dude. I could go for a long time, that's for sure.
We got to follow up.
You are a legend. We do appreciate all your time. I know we're taking you away from the gaming system right now, so this has been a blessing, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you having me here.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning into Locker Room Dads.